Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Cosmic Mystic. So, we are doing our general overcast for the year of 2026. So, what to expect in this year, things the collective can work on, any obstacles to break through, because we're all about making change. Yeah, we can have doom and gloom, but it's all about inner transformation at the end of the day. You look at the outer world and see how it reflects your inner reality and let go of things that don't serve you, cultivate things that do serve you, and just really allow yourself to be that better person, to be your more authentic self on a daily basis. So that's really what is important. If you would like to book a reading, head on over to thecosmichaven.com and book a reading. I still have availability. Uh, through this New Year's week. So feel free to go on over there. And if you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share, do your thing, okay? So we've got the Lorenzi tarot deck right now. And so this overall theme, and by the way, this is a year one. The overall theme is Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is you like such an outgoing, charismatic, driven individual. However, there are times where the knight really lacks focus. So this Knight of Wands in reverse is really calling for focus to be had, all right? So really taking care of your inner world and then projecting that out into the reality is what's key here. And I'm just looking at these butterfly wings. So the more inner transformation you have, the more intention you set within yourself, the more things are going to align for you in the outer world. All right. It's about embarking upon a new adventure, and that journey always begins inward. All right. And then we've got temperance. Okay. So the challenge will be balancing the inner and outer worlds. So, how you are coming into the world and how you are meeting people halfway. Because a lot of people who might not be watching spiritual videos and doing their inner work and things like that, a lot of people have their issues, have this, and it's more like a sense of loss of self, a loss of connection within themselves. And so, because they have this lack of connection, it's really about trying to meet people and situations where they're at while maintaining your sense of integrity and your sense of alignment. So, it's literally learning how to work with people while retaining your individuality, okay, while staying in who you are at this time. So that's really going to be the challenge for you, because I don't know if you guys have been on social media, but everybody's button heads on social media. And it's just time to get along. Even and this is a big message for the spiritual community as well. Like, it's a call to get off social media and stop attacking each other and instead work on yourself, and then come into whatever situation it is and try to have a discussion, try to have a harmonization with the outer reality, with these outer people whom you might not get along with. So rather than attacking people for spiritual bypassing or saying they're fake readers or they're not real spiritualists and the fake ones are going to fall away and all this other stuff, focus on you, focus on your inner work. Like, if I see somebody and in my mind I'm thinking, oh, they fake, I look at myself and see, where am I not being authentic, where am I not being real, and how can I become more of an embodiment of my soul here on earth. Okay. And not always, like, I am not perfect. Okay. I do my best. I do my best. And at the end of the day, I look at myself and I'm like, oh, wow, you could have done this a lot different. You could have done this a lot different. So next time we're going to work on this. Okay. But it's really all about going within first and foremost. And we have got the Tower. So this is going to be unexpected changes in this outer world. So like for the year, expect major, like what I'm getting is major job loss, major sources of income loss. Be careful with your finances, even, and this is really, since we're coming from a year out of 9 and into 1, anything that people, and it's a lot of people who have not done the year 9 work, okay? Let's just stick to it. And it's like, some people just don't understand, like, this is a year of shedding. So anybody who still has any leftover stuff that they have not dealt with in that year 9, especially in the first, I want to say 3 months, so like the first few months, expect those changes to strike rapidly. Expect those external changes to really come up because they need to let go of the external reality. And like I said, a lot of it feels like job loss. They need to let go of that in order to find something new, find something that's more in alignment with them. So, really being able to stand there, and we've got this Seven of Swords too. Um, so, for you to stand there and be a beacon of compassion for them and have space for them is beautiful. The Seven of Swords here is telling me that financially, the the bigger companies aren't as great as they seem. Even like stock market value, uh, their paper, like their financial spreadsheets, might be false. They aren't generating as much money as they think, as they want people to believe. They aren't as wealthy as they want people to believe, and that's really because they have not cultivated that inner abundance. um, and so that's why there's a lot of job loss. So really, not only with the job loss, but also having to deal with a sense of betrayal, a sense of the rug being pulled out from under them. And it feels like spiritual people, it feels like these people are in your circle, not necessarily you, but in your vicinity. So really being able to be there and support them in any way you can is highly, highly encouraged. Page of Pentacles. So, and this is more of a transformation into this inner abundance, into more local businesses, local community uplift, rather than big corporations. And not saying that some big corporations are not necessary. Like I always tell people, um, for example, car dealerships. If we want a car, it's better, in my opinion, to go to a bigger corporation to get a car. That's just my opinion. However, a lot of them, like, especially in the retail space, and so retail, I want to say like traveling, um, Hollywood type stuff, like these bigger, more commercial aspects that aren't necessarily needs, but they're wants. The excess of consumerism, that's what I'm getting. So the excess of consumerism, that's really going to fall away, and it's going to be more grounded in uplifting local communities, finding ways to support each other. And that's really what the call is. And so that's why this tower moment is happening. That's why so many people might be losing their jobs. uh, a few corporations might go under. That's like what several corporations might go under. That's what I'm getting. Just because we're shifting into more uplifting each other rather than bringing local communities down. Okay, and so it is really necessary at this time, even though it's rough. um, it's also an encouragement to get into more jobs that help people and support the community. So things like nursing, teaching, um, even though the school districts might be a little askew for a little bit too. Um, Things like nursing, teaching, reevaluating how these occupations work within the community and how they can be better, not only for the care workers, but also for the community. So like not so much bureaucracy, not so much politics, not so much focusing on the money and generating money, but really focusing on community support first. and then creating financial profit for the employees, then giving back to the hospital. So it's first and for like, and I'm just using hospital as an example. So it's first and foremost, how can we be of service? It's changing from how can we sell you this to how can we be of service to you? All right. So that's a really important aspect to look at. We've got this Nine of Swords and it's in reverse. So you individually take care of your energy first and foremost. Of course, it's all about how can you take care of yourself first and then be of service to others, because if your cup is not full, then you cannot give the utmost service. But also belief systems regarding money, regarding finance, regarding stability, that's going to come up a lot this year since there is this change. So it's going to be, with the year one, it's going to be new revelations on how to create income, what abundance really means to you, how what matters when it comes to spending. Okay, so maybe designer clothes just really aren't your thing, and you like to invest your money into more things that create and generate growth. Or maybe for some of you, designer clothes are something you want to invest in. You like to look good, and that's okay too. So really reevaluating what matters to you and focusing on those experiences rather than just doing what the crowd says or doing what mainstream media tells you to do and suggests for your purchases. All right. And then we've got this moon. So, and like, I love this moon card. It has that little pig balloon up there and it says stay human, and it really is about staying human, staying real and honest with yourself, letting go of all the garbage, all the outside external noise. And it's not even necessarily like, oh, we have to, it's not just walking away from news and things like that, but like YouTube podcasts, for example, that might be bashing one side, and that, like, let's say there's just podcasts you watch that are just solely about bashing corporations and seeing how fraudulent they are, whereas on the other side of the arena there's podcasts that really uplift big corporations and big tech and things like that, but really finding that middle ground and developing your own sense of your forming your own opinions on things and really sticking to those and seeing, okay, I have these opinions, I have these beliefs. Why do I have them? Do I need to change them in order to be more in alignment with myself, not the outside world? And then moving forward with those belief systems and seeing, okay, I have this sense of alignment now. How can I move forward? Where can I be of service? Where is my spirit most needed at this time? And so that's really going to be a huge shift, like breaking free from these illusions. But I also feel like a lot of a lot of people are getting sick and tired of the polarities and the extreme sides being taken on social media. And really, it's about finding that balance, it's finding that harmony. And you have to find that first by going within. All right. And then we've got this Page of Swords. And this is learning how to see both sides of the situation and then moving forward with your clearest expression. So it's all about looking at both polarities, seeing where you see yourself, and then expressing that with love, with respect. And sometimes you can be a little bit assertive about it. Like, don't be afraid to be absurd. Don't be afraid to be absurd and assertive. Okay. However, it's really, as long as you're speaking from the heart, that's the way you're going to find that sense of safety, support, harmony. People are going to resonate with that. People aren't going to resonate necessarily with the intellectualization of concepts. They're going to resonate from the heart and you speaking from the heart. So it's really learning how to take these intellectual, logical ideas and bring them into the heart and then speak them. So that download through the crown and through the third eye and really allowing that to embody within the heart and then speak it. Okay. So that's a really huge encouragement. And we've got this strength card in reverse. The reason people are being called to practice this right now, people are being called to experience this right now, is to learn how to fully embrace themselves as individuals. Like I said, we are in the year of one. Okay, so things falling away are going to help you express, and those around you express their individuality, really embark upon new adventures that are in alignment for you. And so learning how to do that and embrace and come into oneness within yourself. So there has been, and the reason there's a lot of strife on social media is because people don't necessarily know how to work with their dark aspects, don't know how to integrate their shadow selves, their darker selves first and foremost. And not that it's not okay to lash out at, like I always say, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to have these wide range of emotions. Be an observation of them and be aware of when you might be truly attacking somebody and acknowledging that within yourself, and when you might not be coming from a heart space and why. Okay. And not saying that you have to be perfect, but learning how to healthfully process these emotions. That's like, everybody's so wild about the shadow, everybody's so wild about embracing their dark side, but nobody, like, and I'm not going to say nobody, okay, some people just don't know how to healthfully integrate that shadow aspect. And so it tends to lash out, it tends to continue to be angry and say, it becomes like this egoic identity. Like, yes, I fully embrace my shadow self. And so I'm going to fully embody my shadow self all the time. And that the shadow side, while it does need to be acknowledged, if integration does not occur, then you cannot grow. You're just stuck in being a shadow for the rest of your life. Okay. So, really acknowledging when it's time to forgive and let go, and not saying that it's not a journey. Okay. Not saying that it is not a journey, because it is definitely a journey into learning how to fully integrate the shadow and fully let go. And I mean, like, I'm still doing it. Like, I was on my healer's table yesterday. She's like, and not wanting to forgive people, okay, basically. And she was laughing at me, but I'm like, my childhood self just wants to sit here and pout right now, and I have to acknowledge that. But like, afterward, I come home and I'm like, okay, let me actually work on this and give my little child the temper tantrum it needs, and then we're going to forgive, and then we're going to let go, and then we're going to integrate and be at peace. All right. So it is a process. It's not a one and done type thing. But holding on to such anger and keeping it within your system for extended periods of time is not embracing your shadow self. It's using your shadow self as a shield, because you still don't feel safe, because you still don't feel supported. And once you learn how to healthfully release, and that's why I say get a therapist if you need to, healthfully release that anger, look into the root of that issue, and really come to terms with it, then you can move forward with more love and compassion. And yes, sometimes the anger will come back up in waves, and that's okay, because things are cycles. You just have to be aware, you just have to be mindful and present with your own journey. Okay. So that was a long tangent. Okay. First and foremost, but the strength card in reverse is really the reason why things are falling apart, and this sense of individuation is needed, so people can really fully integrate the shadow. Okay. And have the shadow working with the light and harmonizing with the light, and having that deep acceptance and compassion for the anger, rage, and everything you felt, but also being willing to let that stuff go in order to move forward. We've got this Five of Pentacles. So there is this feeling of loss, this feeling of lack, like, who will I be if I do not hold on to this anger? Who will I be if I let go of anger, if I let go of the rage, and if I choose forgiveness. And there is that fear, like, will I get hurt again? Okay, that's very valid, especially for people who have dealt with a lot of trauma. Okay, so those of you, like I said, PSA, like, if you need therapy, if you need outside help, go get therapy, go to get resources to come to terms with this. So this aspect is really a aspect of your inner child saying, like, am I going to get hurt again like I did when I was 6, like I did when I was 7? Is this stuff going to keep happening to me? Can I let my guard down and really be vulnerable and really surrender and open my heart? Or is it just going to be stomped on again? Okay. And that's really this call. Like, it is an act of vulnerability to be able to let go and to be able to forgive. And it's not that you're letting people back into your life, but it's you're opening up for love and compassion for those, more love and compassion for those who are around you. Okay. And that's really what's important. You don't have to let those people who, like some of you who may have been abused, back in your life. If you do not feel called to, that's perfectly fine. And that's acceptable. And there's also this wound, like, some of you might feel a lot of shame around not letting people back in your life. No, it's okay to cut people off, okay? It's okay to say no. And we are going to respect and honor that part of your journey. Like, they were there for a certain amount of time. They violated your soul contract by doing whatever they did. And it's okay to move forward and say that's not okay. And it's okay to set boundaries. And we're still going to practice forgiveness so you can open your heart up and be kind and be that space, not only for yourself, a deeper love for yourself, but a deeper love for the community and for others who might have experienced this pain as well. Okay. And that's really important. And we've got this King of Swords here. So, and this really does feel like the end of the year. It's a call for clear understanding. Like, a lot of stuff that happened to you isn't your fault. There is still a lot of blame upon certain people's shoulders, but it's really realizing that that's not your fault. Returning those thoughts and those beliefs to sender, returning the thoughts and beliefs that these things are going to happen again back to sender, and really allowing a new path to unfold before you. The year one is all about newness. It's all about rebirth and allowing new horizons to occur, new paths to unfold. And that's really what you're being called to do, is letting go of that past. And like I said, for some people, it's going to take the first few months of the year. And setting more intentions for creating a life that is free from those burdens, free from those negative beliefs that have kept you back for the past 9 years. And some it might be longer, but I'm just going through the cycles of 9, okay? But do with that what you will, okay? And then we've got this Ace of Swords. So, again, this is being very mindful of what information you are taking in, because there are sources, and like I said, this is more of like what you're bringing into this world, what you're bringing into the collective. It's a collective reading, but what you can bring into it. So the collective might be like, especially the lower frequencies, might be very needy and graspy, somewhat manipulative. And so, really being aware of the politics that are going on, either on the media or behind the scenes. Be aware of bills being passed, especially in your local communities. Things, are they working for you or against you? Are they working to line their pockets and lying to you about certain aspects, or are they working to really support and uplift the community? So it feels like there's going to be a lot of lies and a lot of unraveling of certain political and economic systems, because people are going more into their individuality, especially like with these um, firings that I see. People are going to be questioning, like, where did the money go? Where are our investments, especially those of you who invest? Where is the money gone? And how are you going to be held accountable for this? Like, it feels like a lot of people just aren't going to take it anymore. Okay. It's been 9 years, guys. It's been a very interesting 9 year cycle, okay? Because we did have 2020 occur. We did have a lot of stuff happen. Um, so people are going to be starting to ask questions because the stories being told in the media aren't making sense. Like something just isn't clicking, and people are going to start demanding answers. So, really be aware and pay attention to politics. We've got this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Also, be aware of when it's time to disconnect from politics and take care of your health and well being, okay? So, focus on the things that you are passionate about. I say people pick one, two things at most that you are really passionate about and just follow those and know that that's enough. And if you feel like you can take more, then take more. But you don't have to fight for every cause. Pick the causes you're most passionate about. Do not spread yourself too thin. Do not wear yourself out. And really follow those, because that's going to help you create a more healthy, sustainable connection with your community and with the world at large by doing the things or advocating for the causes you are passionate about, okay? And then we've got this Two of Wands in reverse. So this is the pulling between right and left, dark and light, and really learning how to integrate that. So there's going to be a lot of times people are going to be like, you can't just sit on the fence. You have to make a choice, one or the other. Make the choice that is in alignment with you. And that might not even be these two paths, it might be a third path, okay? Figure out your own third path. And by third path, I mean first path, because we're in the year one and that's your individual path, okay? And we've got this Five of Wands. So a little bit of strife, a lot of conflict, and this is more internal conflict. So this, especially for you empaths, like internal conflict, feeling guilty for not being able to support or do all the things that you want to do, or feeling like you have to sacrifice yourself, okay? And a part of you is like, why are you sacrificing yourself? Why are you acting like you have to carry the whole load? And so it is this internal conflict over whether or not, or how much energy to put into certain projects, how much being the savior is actually worth it. So it's really about shedding that layer of savior and coming into this individuality, because you got to take care of yourself first, okay? You've got to take care of yourself first. We've got this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is more about withdrawing and inner fulfillment, okay? So really setting those intentions within and going on your own path, being strong. Gosh, if any of you have watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, and if you have not, Toph Beifong, the little blind bandit, really like having that sense of groundedness from Toph Beifong. If you don't know, it's earthbending. She can manipulate the earth, but she can also manipulate metal and sand, and she's amazing, okay? So like look up clips, but really having that sense of groundedness. Like she has to be grounded because she's blind. And so like really closing your eyes to the world, being so grounded in yourself that you don't need external vision. You need this third eye vision, okay? You need this clairaudient hearing, okay? You do not need that outer world hearing. You need to go within and start listening to your own senses and knowing where to go. And then when you feel that pulse, then you make that move, okay? So, like, if you have not watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, 10 out of 10 recommend. Like, literally my favorite show of all time. I might go watch it now. Okay, so, and then we've got our oracle card from the Dream Ritual Oracle deck, and then we're going to close out. But thank you also so much for watching and sharing and liking this year. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a happy new year, okay? I so believe in all of you, and we got this. Stay grounded, stay rooted, put your feet in dirt. If there is no snow, put your feet in dirt. Even if there is snow, maybe you still need to put your feet in dirt. Okay, so we've got ponder and see. We've got these two fish, or actually three fish. Okay, so like, look at this. This is so interesting. So it's like two fish, like it feels like the duality coming through, and they're passing the moon, which is like illusion. So they've passed the illusion, but now this third fish is coming in and it's going to go straight through that illusion. That's you cutting through the crap. That's you cutting through the garbage. And there's also three birds right here. Um, and one is kind of below and in the middle as well. So, and then that tree being rooted. So, being rooted within who you are, really pondering your ideals, your sense of integrity, what is in alignment for you, what is not in alignment for you, and really being so set in who you are that you can have a safe space, not only for yourself, but those around you, and be a beacon of light. You don't necessarily even have to go out and save people. You can lead by example, okay? Leading by example is sometimes the most transformational thing you can do for a person, because a person will look at you and be like, "Oh wow, if you can do that, then I can do it too. Let me figure myself out, okay?" So being that leader by example, and that's really by going within and seeing where you need to be and what is authentic to you. All right? So I hope you all have a happy new year. I can't wait to see you all in this year, and keep doing readings, keep doing chats. All right. Thank you so much. Take care.